my brothers and my sisters never see that damn money. So y'all could be, oh man, well see, they trying to do stuff. They not trying to do anything. They trying to bamboozle you. They trying to calm you down. They trying to put you in a subdued state of mind so people could take their asses back in the house, and they hope this uprising will stop and they can get right back to business. That's what they're doing. And it's some people who listen to my podcast from other cultures say, see, folks ain't never happy. We trying to get them money and blah, blah, blah. But you're not giving us money. You're giving entities money. You're not putting that money into a youth center in my community so our young people can learn music, learn art, learn how to act, learn how to write, learn how to do anything in their leisurely time. You're not making sure the schools on the south and west side of Chicago and South Central and the Bronx and the west side of Atlanta, and I could go on, have the exact same education facilities that as our white counterparts. That's what you're not doing. You're just blowing smoke up people's ass, and I'm tired of it. It sound good. Oh man, well we're gonna look out for the brothers. When? But y'all not. So that's something else. This is why I'm talking about this. And then it's just, when you got union chiefs calling Black Lives Matter a terrorist group. See, this is the kind of rhetoric that, the thing that annoys me the most, union chiefs and the president of the United States and other people calling anytime we organize a terrorist situation. It's a terrorist situation. Well, I know for sure that it was a government funded by President Abraham Lincoln organization called the Ku Klux Klan. That's a terrorist organization. I never hear anybody say these white nationalist groups are terrorist organizations. I never hear that. How is that possible? You've had these groups around for 160 fucking years, and nobody's trying to destroy them like you did the Black Panther Party, self-protection, self-defense, excuse me, like you did the Student Nonviolent Coalition, like you did the Great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., like you did the Nation of Islam. They're the boogeyman. It is literally and figuratively pure madness when you hear these things. This is why you have to start saying, you know what? Maybe these folks are not going to change. I mean, and I'm not telling you not to have faith. I'm just saying maybe you need to look at it a different way and start trying to work with people who you've had difficult situations with inside of our community. And then if we can do that, then we can move forward. And if we don't do that, we will suffer the consequences. I even had a person in my life this week during the uprising challenged the Nation of Islam. This dude literally wrote on Facebook, I thought the Nation of Islam was supposed to protect us, or was that just talk? Really, bruh? Really, bruh? Are you kidding me? But see, and this is a dude who would consider himself an activist, an ally. No ally will put that into the universe the way he did. And more than likely, he's listening. And at this point, I really don't give a hot goddamn. Be mad at B. You know what I mean? And you ain't gonna be the first one. Tell you what, page 37 on my bad guy resume. It's a slot open. Put that shit right there, man. It's right there for that whole line, that whole page open. Put that on my bad guy resume. I'll let the rest of the world view it as well. But it's just that kind of backbiting, or as my mama would call it, flow showing, that gets us in a bad situation. Because now you have attacked the organization that has not done anything wrong to the community at large. You may have some questions about what this and what that and this leader, that leader. But by and large, the Nation of Islam has brought no harm to our community on no level. People who hate them are going to hate them today. I don't give a damn if Louis Farrakhan cures AIDS, cancer, and corona by the end of this show. It's going to be somebody standing around saying his black ass should have did it last year. So when you attack the Nation of Islam as a member of our community for unfounded reason, then you're part of the problem and not part of the solution. We don't have time for this, people. We really don't have time to be throwing rocks and stones at each other. If you are part of that get down, you are really part of the faction of us that are trying to destroy us. You are looking for fame, you are looking for prosperity, and you are looking for the destruction of our community, in my personal opinion. Then, speaking of people who are looking for the destruction of our community, you got these dudes like Jesse Lee Wright, you got this chick Candace Owens, who are true enemies to the culture. Am I telling you to hate them? Hell no, I'm not. But we have to be able to identify who the enemies are inside of our community. I ain't gonna tell you to hate these people, even though I'm right there. I'm hating the hell out of her, because personally, Candace Owens is a cancer. Jesse Lee Wright is a cancer. And we continue to see they're the perfect example of what I talk about on my sports show. Stop giving me stats and give me facts. Give me facts about what's going on. Because black people, the black on black statistic. Okay, if you don't get the hell out of that here with that, Candace, then Candace comes up and says that this brother Floyd was a criminal in his lifetime. Miss Owens, that is the most egregious situation in your life. Mr. Floyd has participated in some criminal activity. But guess what? Mr. Floyd was a hardworking man who was working 2 jobs as a truck driver and as a bouncer. So when you want to bring up his history, since we want to bring up history, I just need Miss Owens to go in her purse or her wallet or wherever she keep her money and look at any one of those bills. Those dudes on those bills are rapists, thieves, and looters. How the hell do you think you're living in this country without rapists, thieves, and looters? So when you want to highlight people with statistics and bring out charts, it's only one chart to bring up. People came their ass over here and destroyed, pretty much eradicated a nation of people. You also had people who were copper colored. Guess who? It's only one copper colored people on the earth, y'all. I'm just saying. It's copper colored people who were here before me. And for those who don't want to believe rap, that's all you have to do. Look up Skip Gates. For those who don't know who Skip Gates is, that's Dr. Henry Louis Gates from Harvard University. He does this lineage thing, and it's all cool, and it's cuddly, and it's warm, and it makes everybody feel good. Look up Skip Gates. Look up the fact that he did the lineage thing on MC Black Thought from the Roots, the lead MC of the Roots, and he traced his family back to the 1400s. So if we were all bought here, how the hell was Black Thought's family here? But that's a whole other conversation for another show. So, Miss Owens, if you want to tell us about the looters and the criminals, and we're always uplifting the worst in our communities, how the hell do we? I can guarantee you, if I put it in the chat room right now, what's your favorite movie? Name the top 10 movies. 99% of the people who will ever listen to this, The Godfather, Goodfellas, and other nefarious movies that are uplifting white criminals will be on that list. So it's not just us lifting up other people. Look, every community on the face of this earth has a criminal element. Excuse me. Correction. Every community in the United States of America. So again, I'm not a world traveler on that level. I've been a few places, but I haven't been enough places that I can make that statement that I just made. But I can make this. Every community in the United States of America has a criminal element. Most communities who are quote unquote on top at this point have made it to that point because of that criminal element. So when you want to say we uplift our criminals, well, I'm going to need you to never say anything nice about your boy in the White House, one of the biggest crooks in the history of the world. I'm going to need you to never talk about George Bush and his crew, either one of the Bushes, the Reagan crew, the Nixon crew, the Ford crew, the Carter crew, and I can go all the way back to the very beginning from Mr. Washington and his crew, who, by the way, if it wasn't for a brother treating them with malaria, teaching them how to immunize against malaria, they ass would have died. But that, again, allow me to digress. We continue to fall for these things with these dumbass statistics that are half cocked. Again, I always say this on every show. If you want to tell me about black on black crime, I also need you to compare it to something. You can't say, yo, H-Rap, you got the best podcast I ever heard. What other podcasts you listen to? I don't listen to nobody but you. Well, my podcast might suck, homie. You just might like me. So in order to give me credit for a good podcast, you must listen to every podcast on Spreaker, every podcast on, or a whole lot of podcasts on Spreaker, and a whole lot of other outlets, and then you can make that determination. And if you don't do it that way, then you're gonna have a problem. And I'm not accepting that praise, but we are willing to accept people tearing us down with no problem. We're going to have to stop that, folks. We definitely going to have to stop that. Because if you are to believe anybody that's telling you giving you any statistics, and you tell, I got it from here. Okay, that's cool. You can have it from there. I don't have a problem with you having it from there. But for you to believe into something lock, stock, and barrel without looking at the picture in its totality makes you a damn fool. It really does. It makes you a damn fool. And if you don't mind being a damn fool, I don't mind calling you one. But most people don't want to be damn fools. Nobody wants to be looked upon as an idiot. So we're going to have to stop falling for the proverbial banana in the tailpipe. And if you don't mind falling for the banana in the tailpipe, it's good, man. Hey, it's for you, man. The banana ain't for me, family. It ain't for me. I'm sorry. I can't keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. But now, if we no longer want to do that, what we're going to have to do is organize. And to organize, it is going to take a boatload of things. First, we're going to have to understand the people who are opposing us. And in order to understand the people who are opposing us, we're going to have to pay attention to them. And as we pay attention, we will learn from them. And as we learn from them, we will improve our own standing in these United States of America, because once you understand what you're up against, you're able to fight against that thing. And if you don't understand what you're up against, you suffer the consequences. For example, again, another conversation that I was having this week, a college educated friend of mine made the statement, is it legal what Donald Trump is doing? Yes, it was. It can be summed up in what is called the Insurrection Act. It's the Insurrection Act. If you find it, and it has been enacted when the sisters in Arkansas was trying to go to school, Lyndon Baines Johnson enacted, your boy Abraham Lincoln enacted it. So this is why when you see him do things, you need to be able to attack him. But as you know about the Insurrection Act, you must also know that what he did by turning those rubber bullets on those people, that's an impeachable act. So once we start understanding the laws of the land, and the brother Anu speaks about this on a regular basis on the Cookout, once we know the lay of the land, then we can fight properly. Anger is a worthless emotion. It really is. I'm mad at you. Who gives a hot goddamn if you're mad? But if you want to use that energy that anger brings about and immerse it into information, and you use that information to properly fight the people who are opposing us, that's when it becomes worth something. At the end of the day, we cannot continue to do these things, man. We are not built for this nonsense and these emotional outbursts. We can't survive or sustain in that realm. I'm sorry, we can't. I'm mad. You ain't ever, most of us have never done anything productive after saying, I'm mad at a motherfucker. You usually end up going to sleep. But we've been asleep long enough. So once we understand what we're fighting against, it's time to say, okay, this is what we're up against. This is what we need to do. And this is how we get it done. Now, I got the homie Jungle in the chat room. Man, look, shout out to the homie Jungle for one. Man, let me give the man some peas, man.